How have you seen St. John's respond to Jesus' commission to go make disciples?
Well, I think St. John's has a number of outreach activities that reach out to both people who are already members here and to the community outside the church, in all kinds of ways.
Okay.
Mission activities and in small groups like special classes, and that sort of thing.
All right. And what about in the life of your family? What have you seen? How has the church been involved in your children?
Oh, well, I have 2 boys, and they have both participated in the youth group, and it has been a tremendous influence in their life. They have to do a lot of mission activities, which is, I think, builds a great spiritual foundation for them.
Okay, great. Remember, with computer technology these days, we can really make you look a lot better than you really do. Don't worry about that.
We can do that with women's clothing, too.
On the question of how have you seen St. John's minister to the least of those who are members of God's family, 3 things immediately come to mind. Actually 4. The United Methodist Men monthly and chronically contribute to ministries outside this church. They provide financial support to Loaves and Fishes and to Timmons Ministries. 2, the United Methodist Women also contribute directly to missionary funding through, like, the latest style show. And 3, on a personal note, one of the things that this church has given me is the ability to sincerely try to uplift people who are down. Specifically, last night, my wife and I were at a restaurant in Portland on a long drive back from Houston, and we were in a small restaurant, very quiet, until a child started crying. And the child didn't seem to cry long or loud or whatever, but a customer came over to the waitress, who was also the cashier, and told her that she should have done something and that he wasn't going to eat there anymore. Now, that's got to be hard. This lady had had a hard day anyway. But God, and through this church, gives me the ability to go to her and tell her that we enjoyed our meal, that my wife and I really enjoyed professional service, and to thank her. And it's a little thing, but not many of us do it. We just don't have time. And I appreciate God and this church helping me do stuff like that.
Class, we've done things like Habitat for Humanity. We've always tried to find other things where we can get our hand into doing some community effort. A couple of years ago, we did the house just down the street. And it's always been different. And look forward to more opportunities to do things like that, especially as we get older.
I'd like to see us running out of room in a few years.
This is be 20 years from now.
I'd like to see a wider age spectrum so that you have somebody to pass the torch to carry on the good things that we're doing.
Okay, so where do you see the age spectrum being weak right now?
I'd say in the younger 20 to 50 range. We'd like to see more people in that age range.
Okay, more young families?
More young families, right, exactly.
All right. Well, Chip, what do you see the connection being between the desire to have a vibrant youth group and the building campaign?
Well, the building campaign is going to create an opportunity for our kids to have a facility to go to. If we don't have a facility and it's crowded and they have to be shoulder to shoulder all the time, they're not going to be as comfortable as if they have a space that is theirs they can call their own, and we can open it up and they can bring more friends and more Christians into the program.
And are you more likely to invite somebody to come to something that's already crowded and where there doesn't appear to be room for more people, or where there's some room for growth?
I've seen it in the past in San Angelo where it was shoulder to shoulder, the youth group shrunk as opposed to...
Well, we move around a lot, and it's always very difficult for our whole family to adjust to a new area. There's always all the new things you have to think about, new doctors, new everything, and new church is one of the biggest things, and St. John's has just given our family a lot of comfort. They have welcomed us. We feel at home, and it's going to be really hard when we move to find another church that is anywhere near what we found here.
St. John's is kind of the basis of our spiritual lives. I mean, whether it's Bible studies, whether it's social activities with other Christian people, it's always been a big part of our lives. Mission trips, teaching our kids that God is important. I mean, if we're in town, we're in church, it's just kind of our base, and making sure that worship is a constant in our kids' lives, and providing activities for them through the church, I think, is very important. Travis is very into youth right now, and that's just an important part of his life, and I hope it will be of Hayden's. And so really it's just kind of the basis of our spiritual lives. And Wilson brought me into this church, and since then...
The United States, especially in big cities like New York, where churches are becoming gyms and bars and restaurants. The churches are dying all over the United States. So I'd like to see St. John's be the hub of this community, where people can come in and feel like they're home, and this is their family, and they can bring their children of all ages, especially the youth, because the youth are crying for someone to care about them and to feel like they have a place to belong. And I'd like to see St. John's be that place.
St. John's is really, I feel like, the beginning of the history of my family. Lester and I were married here, and the boys were baptized here, and we've made a lot of friends in Sunday school, and Stephen's real active in the youth, and it's a good group for him to be with. So St. John's is really important. And when I missed a Sunday, like last Sunday, I wasn't here, I was in Austin, but on the way to church this morning, I thought, gosh, I haven't been to church in a long time. But really, it had only been a week, but it seemed like a lot longer.
It's the Taj Mahal.